Hello beautiful makeup addicts and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerry if you don't know me, and I love all things beauty and makeup related, especially bright colourful makeup, indie brands, that type of thing. But today we're going to be deep diving into the 5-piece brush set that Angelica Nyqvist has released in her new brand Singe Beauty, and I am super excited. So when I learned that Angelica Nyqvist, one of my favourite YouTubers to watch, was starting her own beauty brand, I nearly lost my mind. I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to be picking that up. And to see a really nice 5-piece brush set, I was like, I'm so excited to try this. So we're just going to deep dive into those today, as well as I was thinking, eyeshadow wise, we can do the Angelica Nyqvist and Odens and Kaleidos collabs that she did. These were limited edition, you can't get hold of them anymore, but I thought, what perfect way to test out Angelica's brushes than with 2 of her palettes that she did collabs. Now, if by some reason you don't know who Angelica Nyqvist is and you find yourself on my channel, which I find would be very strange, I will leave her YouTube down below as well as her Instagram. She likes a lot of similar things to what I like, indie brands and lots of colourful makeup. Love to watch her, she's fab. These brushes look so nice. I love the handle colour, like everything that she's picked about them. So far, just looking at them, I'm excited to try these. I'm hoping that they work super well. Now, she did say that they are synthetic brushes, but they behave like natural hair brushes. So I do own referral brushes, which are goat's hair. So I know how goat's hair brushes perform and synthetic brushes perform. So it's going to be interesting to see her claims of these brushes behaving like natural hair brushes but being synthetic, and I'm really excited about that. Now, these brushes do retail for £45 and then there will be shipping on top of that. I'm in the UK. These brushes are from the US, so obviously there is quite a bit of shipping charge on top of that, but that's like any indie brand in the US. Now, they did come in this little box with the nice orange paper, and it did have a nice sticker on it, if I can actually show you, that says Singe Beauty. And it did come with this little postcard, which I think is a super cute touch, just showing you the brushes, and then on the back explaining a little bit more about each brush, which I find super useful, especially for beginners. Like, I can look at a brush and think, I want to use it this way, but sometimes people struggle and think, what would I use that for? So I think this is really clever to actually write down specific ways that you can use these brushes and how they were designed to be used. It says this is a 5-piece brush set designed to elevate your eyeshadow game, all to help with packing on colour, smudging edges and creating the perfect blend. The EO1, this flat tapered brush, is the perfect brush to pack on colour, mattes or shimmers. The bristles are cut to easily pick up product and the pointed tip helps with precision. The EO2, medium fluffy brush to blend and pack colour into the crease. The tapered bristles help with creating definition while still making blending easy. The EO3, a bigger, slightly tapered fluffy crease brush to blend out edges or apply matte shadows seamlessly all over the crease. The perfect brush for a lighter transition colour. The EO4, the perfect brush to blend edges or apply colour with precision to the crease. Also a great brush to smoke out your lower lash line. The EO5, a small detailed fluffy brush with precision to add colours to the crease or outer corner, all this without losing intensity. Now, I struggle when buying brush sets, especially eye brush sets usually, because when you're buying a brush set, not every brush is to my personal preference, but you're having to buy the whole set. However, having said that, with this set, I'm really excited because I can't see an issue that I'm going to have with any of these shapes. Like, looking at them, if I could have picked them out individually instead of buying them in a set, which I think you will be able to do in the future, I'm really happy with all of these shapes. They are a little bit different. They're not your typical big standard shapes that you get in a lot of eye brush sets. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know if I'm going to be using them exactly how the card says or not, because I generally just do what I want with brushes, and I'm sure that's fine, but this is definitely handy and helpful, and I'm super glad that that was included. So shall we dive in? I just want to create a look with these 2 palettes. Like I said, this is the Club Nebula that Angelica did with Kaleidos, and this is the Hela palette that she did with Odens. Love both of these palettes so much. I'm so excited to dig them out again and use them in a video today. So I'm thinking I'm just going to stick on the eyeshadow and then I'll talk about each brush individually at the end and what I think about it. But obviously I will come back to you when I've tested them quite a lot more, and like I've washed them, used them on colour switches and used my IsoClean on them, that type of thing, just to see how they're holding up, to see if they hold their shape, to see if there's any issues. So this is just going to be a first impressions, but I will definitely come back at some point and let you know how they've performed over a longer period of time. So I'm just priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, and everything that I'm using in today's video will be linked in the description box, just in case you're wondering. I have been subscribed to Angelica for quite a long time now, and I'm actually one of her happy clowns on her YouTube membership. I like her YouTube tutorials that she does just for members. Like I say, we have a lot of similar preferences. We're not exactly the same. We don't always agree on the same things when I watch her videos. Some things that she loves I hate and vice versa, but all in all I love watching her as a YouTuber. I think she's fab, I think she's honest, and I just like her whole aesthetic, and we do tend to like similar eyeshadows. So I think I'm going to start out with the Odens eye palette. Now this is going to be more about the brushes than the eyeshadow and how the brushes perform, but I am going to be starting out with, actually I think I'll start out with Goddess, which is the pink, and then I might deepen it up with a little bit of soot as well. So looking at these brushes, like which one do I want to begin with? I feel like I want to start out with the bigger one and fluff this pink shade out. This is the, what is this? The EO3, which I think looks really nice. Although it's the biggest brush in the set, it is tapered. It's sort of wider one side that you hold it, and then it slims down a little bit. It's definitely nice and tapered. I like the shape of this brush. It's not too, like it's not like just a big fluffy. It's definitely tapered and slimmer on this side, and then when you turn it around, that is where the thickness is. So I really like the shape of this. Oh, and I did want to mention, I absolutely love the colour that she's chosen for the bristles, because nothing bothers me more than light coloured bristles that end up stained. It doesn't matter if they're clean, they end up stained, and it's a shame when they're a nice expensive brush set and then they're stained forever. So super happy that they're not white bristles. Let me just smooth out this creasy eye. Like I do have slightly hooded eyes, so I do like smaller brushes, definitely. So I'm just going to start popping this shade. Oh, that feels soft. That feels very soft. I just want this brush to fluff out the pink sort of toward this outer corner. I don't want to pack on the pigment, otherwise I'd have picked one of the smaller, more dense brushes. I just wanted more of a wash of colour, and this is applying it beautifully. I like the whole theming behind the brand as well, Singe. It's the way that she explained it, I'm not going to be able to explain it as good as Angelica, so I will link her video down below where she is answering questions and explaining all about her brand and why she called it what she did and all of that type of thing. But this brush is applying this pink exactly how I wanted it to. It is super soft and it is blending out the edges real nice. I also love the colour that she chose for the handles. Like, I don't mind paying slightly more for a brush set when I know the quality is going to be there, and I know that it's an indie brand for a start, especially a small indie brand. That is my absolute passion, and knowing that she picked out every part herself of these brushes, it's really been thought out and it's fitting in with her style, because she does love an orangey yellow. So I love the colour of the handles. I think that definitely fits Angelica. And I like the fact that she picked a different name than just like Angelica Nyqvist Beauty type of thing, because I just think Singe, I like that she's keeping it slightly separate like that and not using her own name. But this brush is applying this pink so nicely. It feels soft and it is just doing exactly what I expected from a bigger blending brush. But like I say, I am really glad that it is slightly tapered, because there's nothing worse than just a big giant fluffy brush, especially when you've got smaller eyes. This is actually getting more blown out than I thought. You know when you think you're not going to do a big dramatic look and then all of a sudden it runs away with you. And yeah, we're going to be doing dramatic today, I think. Then I think I want to take the EO2, which is a blending brush. It looks like a crease brush. What does it actually say on the card? That would be helpful if I actually had it in front of me, wouldn't it? So it says the EO2 is a medium fluffy brush to blend and pack colour into the crease. The tapered bristles help with creating definition while making blending easy. Yeah, so pretty much what I thought, but it's on the bigger side. It's not as small as the, what is this? The EO5, which I'm saving more toward the inner corner. So I'm going to go into this one, and I'm going to go into that soot shade, which is that deeper shade, and I just want to, oh, I forgot how pigmented this is. I just want to deepen up this outer corner a little bit, just because I like depth in a look. It adds dimension. Wow, okay, that's picking up the product beautifully, and this definitely feels a little bit more like a referral brush, like a goat's hair, like non-synthetic, the way that that just picked up the pigment and applied it. Now, of course, I do go back and forth through the shades that I use. I'm not just going to apply this deep shade and then leave it. I will go back in with that pink, probably on this same brush after I've used my Sigma colour switch. So I do use colour switches, and the Sigma one is a nice one if you wanted to pick one up and you didn't want to buy one of the cheap ones that just look like, if you're British, you'll know what a Brillo pad is. Don't actually know if Americans know what a Brillo pad is. Also, these were shipped out super quickly after I ordered. It did take a little while to come to me just because when they reached the UK, Royal Mail, there was bank holidays, and if you know, you know. Royal Mail aren't the quickest at delivering, but that is definitely not Singe Beauty's fault. That is just the slow UK postal service, but I will say they were dispatched nice and quickly. So I'm just going to put that brush through the colour switch, go back into a little bit of the pink and work on a blend between these shades. This one does definitely feel like a nice size brush. It's exactly the type of thing that I want to blend out in my outer corner and just merge the two shades together. I would definitely reach for this again for this type of, what's the word? Application. And I quite like Angelica's price point with these because they're not super high end, they're not super cheap brushes either. I think it's a nice price considering she's put these all together herself and really focused on the shapes that she wanted and the colour. They feel like good quality brushes, which you would expect for paying this sort of price that they are, especially with the shipping to the UK. But I'm glad that she's hit the price point that she has. I think it's just perfect for a lot of people. It's sort of kind of in the middle. I feel like the price point reflects how good the brushes are, and actually she probably could have charged more so far for the quality of the two brushes that I've used. If they hold up well and the other brushes are this good, I feel like the price point is very good. I'm now thinking I could have used this EO4, which is sort of a flat packer brush, but also a little bit fluffy, just to do that edge blending work. But I still think the EO2 worked nicely for that as well. Or even this one, the EO1, that could have done exactly the same thing. I like all of those brushes for that type of thing. You know we're going to be going into some green because it's me and I can't not touch a green eyeshadow when I see green eyeshadow in front of me, and I really like the look of Gravity that's in the Kaleidos palette. It's a beautiful bright green, but there are a lot of beautiful greens in the Odens hela palette. So which shall we start with? I think I want to go from Moss in the Hela palette to Gravity, which is the more brighter green in the Club Nebula palette. So on the EO5, which is the smaller crease brush, I'm just going to introduce that Moss shade next to the pink, and I don't want to make a muddy mess, so I am just going to be placing it next to it rather than fully working on a blend between the two. And I don't want this to be a big feature, I just want to pop it in. And this is such a nice small tapered brush, just to pop in that little bit of colour just above the crease, because I don't actually fully just stick it in the crease because I do have slightly hooded eyes, but that is a perfect size just to fit in there. And I'm just flicking my brush toward the pink. We're not going to work on a major blend between them because, like I say, I don't want it to end up muddy. So now that colour's laid down, I'm going to go into Gravity on the same brush and introduce this nice bright green. I do like bright and vivid. Oh yeah. Green and pink, or green and purple together, is such a nice combination. And these brushes are definitely picking up the pigment nicely. It looks like it's distributing it as evenly as I can tell, and they're just behaving how I want them to behave. They're not giving me any issues, which is great. Then I'm going to take the EO one, which is a little bit more pointed, but still a little bit fluffy, and it's definitely tapered. Really enjoy this. And I'm going to go into Rebirth, which is the nice matte yellowy shade here in the Odens eye palette. And I just want to pop that on the inner corner. Wow, that brush worked really well for that. It picked up just the right amount of product to make sure that this looks nice and intense in the inner corner. That is super pretty. And I'm just going to have it leading into that green, and because it is a slightly fluffy brush as well, that's just going to help it blend nicely, as well as being quite precise, and because it's pointed, being able to get into that inner corner. So I'm going to use the EO4 for the lower lash line, and this again, tapered and nice and slim, but also sort of domed a little bit and fluffy. The way that these are put together, I feel like they have so many uses. It does say on the card about using it for the lower lash line, or to blend the edges or apply colour with precision to the crease. Like, there are so many uses for each of these individual brushes, and I really appreciate that, because it's nice when you can use a brush in a specific, not just one specific way. So I'm going to take this to run the pink shade along the lower lash line as well, and then I will use my colour switch and go into the other shades that we have used for this look, just to tie it all together so it matches what's on the lid on the lower lash line. I might go into a bit of the shade Hela as well, which is the lightest pink in the Hela palette, and just use this brush as well, not just for the lower lash line, but to also just tickle on the very edges, just so that we have the nicest, smoothest blend out here that we can. Oh yeah, that is perfect for that. Yeah, because it's tapered and it doesn't just end, and the bristles all end at the same point, that is actually perfect to just use the very edge of this just to blend. And you can be quite precise just because of how it's shaped. Like, I can do a video for you if you would like on my favourite brushes in my collection and what specifically I use them for, if that's helpful. Please do let me know in the comments if you would find that helpful, because I do tend to use the same style of brushes and types of brushes for certain things, but these ones do feel more versatile than a lot of the brushes I've got in my collection. That is perfect for blending out that pink shade. I can't get over that. Okay, let's use it as well to just smoke out a little bit of light pink on the lower lash line. I can see myself picking up another one of these, this EO4. If these come out in singles, and she doesn't always sell them as a bundle, I could definitely see myself getting a few of these. I'm sorry that the lighting isn't the best in this video today. It is awful weather outside in the UK, and I'm having to heavily rely on the lights that I have in front of me rather than the room being anywhat lit up by the outside, because yeah, it's dull, rainy, dreary, cold. The milder weather we were having seems to have disappeared. Just going back in with that soot shade on the EO2 that it was on before, just to make sure I'm happy with the blend and the edges of this deeper shade, but I'm loving this. There's nothing worse than getting a brush set and you only really like one or two of the brushes in the eye brush set because they're either too big, the wrong shape, or... But because Angelica does this as a job on YouTube, she understands what people want in eye brushes, and there's so many brands out there that just want to do big fluffy brushes that are way too big for the majority of people's eyes, and especially when they've got hooded eyes. So to see a brush set that I can actually use every single brush, and so far I've enjoyed every single one, that's quite rare. Okay, just looking at them for shimmers, I think the one that I'm going to prefer is the EO one, which is what we used for the inner corner. So I'm just going to use my colour switch just to get the product off of this, and then we're going to go into a shimmer, but which one? I definitely think for the outer corner, I definitely want to go into River, which is this gorgeous duochrome multi-chrome shade from the Hela palette. Then what? Do we want to go into a green? I do really love the shade Fluorescence, which is this one here. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. So I'll go into Fluorescence first and we'll see how this, wow. That picked up the product really, really nicely. I am going to spray it just so I don't get any fallout. That really did pick up the product like a goat's hairbrush. Loving that. And I'm just going to add this to, oh, I forgot how much I love this palette, to sort of the front portion of the eye, and then we're going to lead it into that deeper shade. Maybe we'll go into something different for the inner corner as well. Oh, that has applied it really nicely. Okay, what I've noticed when applying this shimmer with this brush, it works beautifully, and because it's sort of fluffy as well, it's not just a flat packing brush, I can sort of distribute the shimmer, because I don't want a sharp line like a cut crease. I just want to sort of fluff it, and this is perfect for packing it on and then fluffing the edges of that shimmer so it just disperses nicely into the matte. Okay, this could be my new favourite shimmer brush. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go into the shade River, which was the one I showed you, the deeper shade. Again, picked up really nicely. I'm just going to apply that to blend out into the matte out there. Oh, this combination together. I'm just going to go back over the edge of the shimmer with some of the mattes, and I think that's more or less it for the eye look apart from the inner corner. So we'll do an inner corner together, then I'll jump off and finish it up, and I can't wait to tell you my thoughts about these brushes. So the inner corner, I do want to use the shimmer brush again, don't I? The EO1. This is a super handy brush as well. Okay, the EO4 and the EO1. So good. I think I want to go into the Colour Nebula palette and use a little bit of Firefly, which is a shimmery green toppery shade, just for the very inner corner, because why not? And should I spray this? I probably should, shouldn't I? That has picked up amazingly. Okay, this brush, if you're struggling to pick up shimmers, the EO1. Am I spraying past the brush? I can't even see. Do I want to keep it matte? Do I want to keep it matte? Do I want to use this? It's on my brush now, I might as well just... I could have just kept it matte, it did look beautiful how it was, but we're here now, we're here. And again, that is a really nice shape just to fit into the inner corner. Okay. This brush man. Okay, let me jump off, finish up this makeup look, and then we'll discuss the brushes. So I'm back and I finished the look, and I had to go with a dramatic lip, didn't I? I couldn't just do a nude, it had to be dramatic. The lip I used was the Unearthly Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Flirt. Don't know if this was from one of the mystery boxes or not, I can't remember. So if it was, I don't know if it's available, I'll link it down below, basically. And in my waterline, I went in with my P. Louise and Mitchell Acid Rain Paint in the shade Limelight, because I wanted a nice bright popping green waterline, and you can't beat Limelight for a waterline. And I did use my half lashes from Pound Lashes. They are in the style HL01, just to add a little bit of extra something in the outer corners, but I love this look. I love greens and purples and pinks together. I think they are beautiful, but it's time to discuss the brushes. Okay, my thoughts. I feel like watching the video and going along, you will kind of know what I think about the brushes. I was really hoping I was going to love them and there was going to be amazing quality, just because I really like Angelica Nyqvist as a YouTuber and person, but that didn't necessarily mean she was going to have an amazing brand. However, love the name, love the theming, love the price point of these. I think the price point reflects beautifully the quality of the brushes. For 5 brushes that I can get use out of every single one, Like, I'm quite impressed with that. I really like the handles, I like the length of the brushes. Sometimes they're super diddy, sometimes they're too long and big. They feel like good quality. Like I said before, I like the colour of the bristles because when I wash these, you're not going to be able to tell really if there's a lot of staining because they're not white. They do feel like goat's hair. Like, when I first heard that claim, I was a bit like, really? Really though? Because I love my referral brushes, but actually these pick up product and apply it and disperse it very similarly to my goat's hair brushes. Eye brush sets are my favourite to pick up because my passion is eyeshadow, and with the amount of eyeshadow that I own, use and apply, I like to have good quality brushes. These aren't going to be for everybody. Like, if you don't want to spend this amount on this type of brushes, you don't do your makeup all that often, or you just want to stick one shade through the crease and that is you, maybe then that's not for you. But for people that like a variety of brushes that are versatile and pick up a lot of product and apply it in a way that you can do nice blends and transitions from one shade to another, and you've been looking for that perfect eye brush set, and maybe you've got slightly hooded eyes or they're a little bit wrinkly, or you know, these could definitely be for you. So I'm going to talk you through the brushes. So we started out with the EO3, which was the bigger, more tapered, fluffy brush. This was beautiful just for putting on that pink, blending it all out nicely. It went on seamlessly, it picked up enough product. That is very rude that my phone keeps doing that. It was really nice just to, if you want to add a transition shade all through the crease, or you want to blend out the very edges and you just want something a bit bigger, this is a really nice soft brush. It still picks up quite a lot of product but disperses it nice and evenly, and I got a nice blend on the very edge, which is what I wanted. So I'm very happy with that brush. It's nice to see that there was only one bigger one, because we all do need one that's slightly bigger sometimes just to blend out the very edges. Then I used the EO2, and that was to pack on the deeper shade in the outer corner, and it's just the right size. Out of the fluffy crease brushes, this is a slightly bigger one, and I really like this. I like the shape of it, the way that it's tapered. Let me put the actual other brushes down. The way that it is domed on the top, so you can blend directly on, or you can put it on the side a little bit, just to, depends how you're wanting to blend, what your technique is, but I feel like this is quite a versatile and small crease brush, which I really appreciate. I really enjoyed packing on that deeper colour in the outer corner with this brush, and I can definitely see myself reaching for this quite a lot. And then the other brush that is for the crease that's even smaller is the EO5, what I applied that green matte with, and this one is slightly domed, still not as much as the other because it is smaller. This one was really great just for getting right in there, just in that inner portion that's leading to the inner corner, and you just want, you know, something that you can get in there, actually apply the product without putting it everywhere. This was definitely small enough just to go in there, blend that green, not take it out too far. That was the perfect size. Again, really enjoyed that one, but I think my favourite two I've saved for last. Okay, which one should we talk about first? I think we'll talk about the EO4. This EO4 brush, again, domed on the top. I have to say, this is a very versatile brush to me. It at first looks like a bit of a fluffy packer brush, and that's what it is, but it is nice and domed. And I feel like I could also apply a deeper shade to the outer corner with this. I could blend out on the side of the bristles because it is slightly domed. And you could definitely smoke out the lower lash line with it. And you could just pack on shades with it. I just feel like this one is super versatile. I can see myself getting the most use out of this one and the EO1. The EO1 is fantastic. This is what I used for my inner corner, for mattes and for shimmers. Picking up the shimmers with this was so easy. There's nothing worse than trying to pick up a shimmer, your brush isn't having any of it, and I do usually have to use my referral brushes, which are goat's hair, to pick up shimmers. If they are a bit difficult, a bit finicky of a shimmer, I know I've got to reach for my referral, but to actually be able to reach for a synthetic brush that behaves like a goat's hair brush, and it actually picked up the product super well. I mean, you saw, and it applied it really nicely, and because it's got that sort of pointed shape on the top, it was really easy just to get in there and do the inner corner with it. And again, I could see myself, because it's tapered on the sides, using this just to blend out the edges of a shade. This might be my favourite, the EO1. It might be my favourite. The EO1 and the EO4 I'm going to get the most use out of, hands down, 1,000,000%. I definitely need backups of these. The other three are beautiful. To be honest, I could pick up a whole other set because I enjoyed every single brush in this collection. Those are the two favourites that shone out for me, but all of the brushes, really nice quality. Applied the eyeshadow really well. They're the only brushes I used for this eye look today, and I'm super happy with it. I will definitely keep testing out these brushes for you though, because I do now have to wash them. I'm going to use them for multiple looks, and then when I've used them for quite a while, I will come back to you and give you my in-depth review after a longer time, because this is just a first impression. And of course the brushes are going to be fantastic right now. They're brand new. You would hope that they would be. But after I've washed them a few times, come back and use them again, I'll let you know, are they still holding their shape? Are they still performing the way that they're supposed to be performing? But I have to say, on first impressions, I am so happy with the brushes. So like I say, if you are the type of person that has got smaller hooded eyes, or a little bit, you know, there's creases, there's folds, this brush set could definitely be for you. If you are thinking about it, my honest first impression is they are really good quality, and I'm so happy I picked them up, and I would definitely recommend them. I will leave these a link down below in case you want to check them out, or just Singe Beauty website in general. I will have as much linked as I possibly can, as well as Angelica Nyqvist's own channel and Instagram and all of that good stuff. I'm so happy with this look. I'm happy with these brushes. I'm going to go off and wash them now. I'm excited to use them in upcoming videos, and again, just give you my thoughts as I'm going through of what I think. So if that's of interest to you, please don't forget to subscribe. Down below I will have all my socials, my Instagram, all of that good stuff, and my YouTube membership and my Patreon group. Hopefully guys, you enjoyed this video. You found it somewhat informative. I'm probably going to remember 10 things when I finish filming that I wanted to say that I forgot, but that's life, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Bye!